Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining. And today is the topic about the Russian missile strikes. You've heard about it, you've probably seen a lot of it happening, and the aftermath and everything that they're doing, and what we can expect in the future, how actually damaging it is, and what we in general think about it, and of course, myself. What do I think about it? So, the first and the most important thing is I myself didn't expect this in terms of like when everything started. I thought that maybe like some strikes and things like that, but because of my previous experience in 2014, we haven't had anything like that. I was not expecting, and even I was a little bit struck by like, missile strikes, the bombing that happens, like aviation and everything, but mostly the missile precision strikes with Calibers rockets and Iskanders and later C300s. So the main point is it was like kind of unexpected at the start, and then it became a routine and something we understood and worked more as our anti-aerial and missile defense started working better and better, understanding how we can intercept and take down those rockets and what we can do about it. But the first and the most important thing is estimation of how much of rockets they actually have. So even the US and partner intelligence was not right on the estimate of numbers of the rockets they had, which also make me think that even right now we say like, hey, they left this much, this many, and everything like that. I take it with a grain of salt, and I always expect and think that they have more, and more, I think much more. And you would ask why they not like using it so much and everything. Of course, they need to think of their stocks, try to restock it, understand how much they have, how often they can make this big missile strikes and send a lot of rockets our way. And I personally don't believe that they like out of stock and they have so little left. They have like Kinjals, they have X-55 and other types of rockets and everything, also bombs and calibers, of course. And the main thing, of course, they have a lot of C-300s because it's one of the main anti-aerial defense that their army has, and because these rockets can be used as surface-to-surface missile. This is the biggest thing. They had a lot of strikes on Kharkiv. They had a lot of strikes on other cities with 300s. Of course, the distance is not as big as they would like to, but they just have a lot of those. They still have calibers. I'm pretty sure like numbers are hundreds and hundreds of them. And I really take everything that experts say and the intelligence say in terms of numbers and estimates. They already used far, far, far more than was expected and predicted at the start, which means they'll have a lot of more. At least it's my opinion. So, but what we can do about it, pretty much just have our anti-aerial defense, our own missiles, our jet fighters and interceptors to work on that. And as the war progressed, we got better and better at it. I mean, at the start, it was like hard to understand. Our anti-aerial defense still was working, but of course we didn't have as much. We have some new stuff right now. We learned how to use it better, and I would say that Ukrainian anti-aerial defense is working not only decent, I would say pretty effective. They know how to uh, take down the missiles, they know how to intercept them, they know how to find them. Of course, they have this new thing with the Iranian drones, but it's different topic. Let's talk about rockets at the moment. They still have high precision caliber rockets. This is the most valuable that they have because it's the most precise one. And then they have like this Genjals, which are not really precise. They have C300, which is somewhat precise because it's not mainly done for this type ground to ground thing. So this is where it comes from. and they still have a lot of rockets. So we just need to brace ourselves, have more anti-aerial defense, and be ready, because right now before the winter, they targeting and trying to target not so much the military but civilian infrastructure in terms of electrical stations, power plants, and things like that, to make our winter harder and harder. But as it shows, Ukrainians and my own compatriots are pretty ready for anything that they throw at us. When there is a problem, we take care of our electricity, we fix it pretty fast. Anti-aerial defense is working. So in general, I think it will be hard. Of course, the winter will be harder, but I think we're pretty ready, and we understand this dangers of not having the proper defense of civilian infrastructure, which are basically, of course, based, which military also based off like electricity, heat, and also things like that, because it's productions, it's all these lines and logistics, everything depends on civilian infrastructure too, because the country is in a state of war. So I would say it's a really big danger, but if you're ready for it, if you understand how to counter it, this is the best thing. Of course, we need to target more of their aerial basements, like the airfields, places where they have their C-300 complex and things like that. So we need to counter that. We need to cut back into their supply lines and things like that, but we're already working on it. Of course, the main thing is anti-aerial defense, and make sure that all our civilians objects are pretty safe in that regard. And of course, just get more anti-aerial defense. It will be hard, it's a complex thing, but so far we're pretty effective in countering that. Of course, we suffer civilian losses, we suffer other economical losses because of that, but if I would compare it to the start and right now, it's miles and miles apart. Our anti-aerial defense is much more trained. They understand how to intercept rockets. They understand how to find them. Like the radars are working. All the things, multi-level things, are working as a clock, I would say. And mostly we have a success. Either rockets falling down like somewhere far away in the field. Of course, there different things can happen, but mostly we take them down. We work pretty effective and pretty decent, I would say. I don't know how I would rank it, but from my perspective as an infantryman, uh, I would say we're doing really good. So hopefully we'll keep on fighting, we'll keep on taking down the rockets, but I personally think they still have a lot, and we need to be ready and prepared for a lot more missile strikes. Thanks for watching. Cheers.